ದೇಶಾಗೆ ಮಾಹೌಲ ಸೀದಾ ಗುಳುಂ ಹುರಿ ಪಲಿತ ಮಿಗುತುಂ ಕೇಂ ಬೊಯ್ಮುಗೆ ನುರಂಗಳು ಆದತಕ ಹೆಲಿಫೆಲಿವೆಗಳು ಮದುಮಾ ದುಂಫತ್ ಕೇಸ್ತಿಮಾಲ್ ಕುರುಂ ಅದಿ ರಾಬುಯಿಂ ಫದ ಆದಕಾದತಂ ಹಿಮೆನಿ
Making headlines this hour, President reaffirms the government's commitment to working together with the Fishermen's Union to address concerns of local fishermen. President ratifies a comprehensive amendment to the Maldives Sports Act, setting in motion a far-reaching transformation of sports governance. And President issues a forceful appeal to the international community, urging decisive measures to halt the aggression against the people of Gaza. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Idham Naim. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz reaffirms the government's commitment to working together with the Fishermen's Union to address the prevailing concerns of local fishermen.
The president met with local fishermen at the president's office, where union representatives expressed satisfaction with the government's progress in implementing proposals previously submitted by the fishing community. During the meeting, the fishermen thanked the president for the government's ongoing efforts, particularly highlighting the introduction of the 48-hour payment system. They noted that this and other initiatives had led to visible improvements in the sector, including a rise in youth participation in the fisheries industry. The primary request presented by the fishermen was the revision of the fish purchase price to $1.30 per kilogram, aligning with the government's earlier pledge. Other requests included facilitating access to fuel at state trading organization rates, the introduction of digital weighing scales, the expansion of fish weighing stations, and the installation of additional fish aggregating devices or FADs. The union also proposed the establishment of a system for daily payments for weighed fish and requested consideration for providing Ramadan bonuses to fishermen. In response, President Muiz reaffirmed his commitment to increasing the fish purchase price to $1.30 per kilogram and noted that work is already underway to implement a daily payment system and to digitize the entire fisheries sector. He also highlighted the introduction of bank loan facilities tailored for fishermen and assured that the government would continue working to improve and expand access to financial support. The president reiterated his administration's dedication to enhancing ice plant facilities as outlined in the presidential address and confirmed that ongoing projects aimed at increasing capacity would be completed as planned. On the matter of Ramadan bonuses, President Dr. Muiz expressed his intention to extend this benefit to all eligible workers, including fishermen. He emphasized that such allowances should be distributed through a structured framework based on the official fishermen's registry and encouraged the union to view the matter constructively. Speaking to PSM News after the meeting, Vice President of the Fishermen's Union, Aswad Farouk, said the union had shared the prevailing concerns and challenges faced by local fishermen. He said the president reaffirmed his commitment to working closely with stakeholders in the fisheries sector to resolve challenges and to support the continued development and prosperity of the industry.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz ratifies a comprehensive amendment to the Maldives Sports Act, setting in motion a far-reaching transformation of the nation's sports governance. The reforms aimed at decentralizing authority, strengthening athlete protections, and expanding financial support mark one of the most significant legislative shifts in the sector's history. This ceremony, held at President's office, underscores the government's commitment to fostering athletic development and institutional integrity while increasing participation across the country. The revised law redefines the framework for sports administration, placing greater responsibility in the hands of regional bodies and creating new financial structures to ensure sustained investment in the sector. Originally enacted in 2015, the Sports Act now includes measures that empower atoll and island level authorities to play a more prominent role in local sports development. Alongside this, the formation of regional sports associations for individual disciplines aims to formalize competitive structures and cultivate talent nationwide. Integral to the reforms is the establishment of a national sports fund designed to streamline the financial assistance under a transparent governance model. The fund will allocate resources directly to athletes and organizations while also supporting infrastructure development and research initiatives. The amendment also implements institutional changes, including granting the Maldives Paralympic Committee formal recognition as an independent entity on equal footing with the Maldives Olympic Committee. To reinforce inclusivity, national sports associations are required to establish specialized divisions under the Paralympic framework. In addition, the Maldives National Anti-Doping Agency will be formally instituted as an autonomous regulatory body. The legislative overhaul extends to safeguarding athletes' rights, introducing a sports arbitration system to provide legal recourse in disputes and ensure fair adjudication of grievances. The bill underpinning these changes was submitted to the Parliament on 26 November 2024, sponsored by the lawmaker Abdul Latif Mohammed, and passed on 5th May 2025 during the 26th sitting of the parliamentary session. At the rectification ceremony, government officials, including Attorney General Ahmad Usham, the Commissioner of Sports, and the presidents of the Maldives Olympic Committee and the National Sports Council were present, alongside influential figures from the sporting community. President Muiz addressed the media following the event, outlining the objectives behind the amendment. Following its rectification, the amendment has been published in the Government Gazette, officially coming into legal effect. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz issues a forceful appeal to the international community, urging immediate and decisive measures to halt the escalating aggression against the people of Gaza, Palestine. His statement comes amid intensifying violence by Israeli occupational forces, which he described as targeting the extermination of the Palestinian population.
In a social media post, President Muiz denounced Israel's continued assault on Gaza, condemning the deliberate targeting of innocent civilians. The president stated, quote, "strongly and unequivocally condemn the continued targeting of innocent civilians by Israel in Gaza as the genocidal assault by Israel intensifies," end of quote. His appeal underscores the urgency of the escalating humanitarian crisis. The president called on international organizations to take swift action, reiterating the Maldives' demand for immediate intervention to halt the violence and bring an end to hostilities. The president further stressed the necessity of protecting civilian lives under international law, declaring that Israel must be held accountable for its actions. His call for international action builds on previous appeals. Addressing the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly, President Muiz urged world leaders to take immediate steps to halt what he described as the genocide being carried out against the people of Gaza. He reaffirmed the Maldives' firm support for the establishment of an independent Palestinian state. The latest wave of Israeli attacks began last Thursday, marking a significant escalation in hostilities. Hundreds of Gaza residents have been killed since the offensive intensified, marking it the deadliest period of aggression since the collapse of the ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel on the 18th of March. The Palestinian Ministry of Health reports that 53,272 individuals have been killed, while the Gaza Media Office provides a higher estimate of 61,700. The number of injured now stands at 120,673, underscoring the widespread human cost of the ongoing aggression. Beyond the immediate loss of life, homes and critical infrastructure have been systematically destroyed, exacerbating an already dire humanitarian situation. The offensive, which began on the 7th of October 2023, has been carried out with the support from the United States, further intensifying tensions across the region.
The government of the Maldives strongly condemned the ongoing genocidal aggression carried out by Israeli forces against innocent civilians in Gaza, Palestine, as Israel intensifies its assault. In a firm statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the government urged the international community to take decisive action, stressing the need to hold Israel accountable for its repeated violations of international human rights and humanitarian law. The Maldives also reaffirmed its unwavering support for the Palestinian people, advocating for the establishment of an independent and a sovereign state of Palestine based on pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. The death toll continues to rise as the Israeli offensive continues. According to Gaza's health ministry, Israeli attacks have killed at least 53,339 Palestinians and wounded 121,034. The government media office later revised the death toll to exceed 61,700, citing thousands still unaccounted for beneath rubble presumed dead. Israel's assault on Gaza began on 7th October 2023 as the devastation persists. Israeli forces have once again bombed Nasir Hospital in Khan Yunis following a series of strikes that claimed the lives of at least 6 people in the southern city. As Israel advances its large-scale ground operation in the Gaza Strip, reports confirm that at least 151 Palestinians were killed on Sunday alone. Maldives and India signed 13 Memorandum of Understanding (MOUs) for projects to be implemented under the Indian Grant Assistance Scheme High Impact Community Development Project HICDP Phase 3. The signing ceremony took place at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, marking another milestone in the ever-strengthening partnership between the two countries.
The 13 projects launched under this phase amount to a total of $6.48 million, primarily aimed at enhancing ferry services in the Maldives, expanding connectivity, and uplifting community livelihoods. The MOUs were signed by Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdullah Khalil on behalf of the Maldivian government and High Commissioner of India to the Maldives G. Balasubramanian on behalf of India. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Mohammad Amin signed on behalf of the implementing agency. During the ceremony, Foreign Minister Khalil emphasized that India's assistance has always been meaningful, purposeful, and aligned with the needs of the Maldivian people, reflecting the enduring bond between the two countries. He highlighted that the projects launched are more than just infrastructural developments, they are lifelines to communities designed to address local needs and bring lasting socio-economic benefits.
This continued support is not just a gesture of goodwill. It is a testament to the strong and enduring bond that unites both our countries. It is a partnership that stretches beyond formal cooperation, rooted deeply in mutual respect and understanding. The government and people of Maldives are grateful for the steadfast commitment from the government and people of India to the development journey of the Maldives.
He further expressed confidence that the successful implementation of these projects would pave the way for even greater cooperation and shared progress, underscoring the spirit of friendship that defines Maldives-India relations. Minister Amin, speaking on the project, highlighted the rapid progress in establishing a nationwide high-speed ferry network now connecting 81 islands across 9 atolls.
The ferry system also supports our work to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. It will help improve connections between islands, support local businesses, promote fairness, and make transport accessible for everyone.
He noted that the MOUs signed with India will further expand these services, reinforcing the strong bilateral ties between the two countries. Although initially scheduled for completion in 2027, the project is now expected to be finalized by the end of this year, a strong commitment by President Dr. Mohammad Muiz. Both the ministers expressed gratitude to the government of India for its generous support, highlighting its transformative impact on Maldivian communities. Dr. Khalil expressed heartfelt appreciation to the government and people of India, thanking Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his personal commitment to advancing bilateral cooperation. The minister also extended his sincere gratitude to India's Minister of External Affairs Dr. S. Jaishankar for his support to strengthen bilateral ties and acknowledged High Commissioner Balasubramanian and his team for their dedication to deepening Maldives-India partnership.
The Ministry of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development invites applications for over 100 higher education scholarship opportunities from Malta and Kazakhstan. According to the ministry, Kazakhstan's universities have opened opportunities for citizens of Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC) member countries to pursue higher studies. The ministry has now invited applications for these scholarships with the deadline to expire on 30th May. In addition, the ministry has also opened the opportunity for Maldivians to apply for master's degree and PhD programs from universities in Malta. The ministry said applications for these scholarships should be submitted by 2nd June. The ministry said that those selected for the courses should ensure that the institute conducting the course is recognized by the Maldives Qualification Authority, adding that it was the responsibility of the student to ensure that the field of study is from a higher education institution recognized by the relevant Maldivian authorities. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs announces that all individuals in the Maldives Hajj Corporation's Hajj queue for the current year will have the opportunity to perform Hajj this year. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs said the details of this year's Hajj quota will be announced on 26th May, including details of how the annual quota is allocated and utilized. Earlier, President Dr. Mohamed Moise had announced that all individuals listed in the Maldives Hajj Corporation's this year's queue will be able to perform the pilgrimage this year. This is the first time in many years that all listed individuals will be accommodated within the same year, he said. The President had also announced a change in the rules for allocating quotas for Hajj such that those who have not performed Hajj previously will be prioritized. The Maldives Hajj Corporation confirmed that the change will come into effect next year. The Ministry of Islamic Affairs and the Maldives Hajj Corporation are working together to enhance services for Maldivian pilgrims. A key improvement this year includes the Makkah Route Initiative, which will provide streamlined services for pilgrims. The inclusion of the Maldives in the Makkah Route Initiative is hailed as a historic achievement for the country under President Moise's leadership. Maldives Bureau of Statistics launches a labor force survey in the capital Malé region. The Bureau said that the labor force survey, LFS, will be conducted from 18th to 24th May. The Bureau is responsible for conducting surveys on the labor market and collecting statistics on the employment market under the Statistics Act. The Bureau has been conducting the labor force survey once a month since October 2024. The survey is currently being conducted in randomly selected households in the Greater Malé area. Information collection areas include demography, education, household production, employment details, unemployment details, migration and volunteer work. The objectives of the survey include identifying the labor force, gathering labor statistics, determining employment and unemployment rates, and finding migration rates for population projections. The Bureau has assured the information obtained from this survey will not be disclosed in any manner that will reveal the identity of an individual or the household. NVIDIA says it plans to sell a technology to others that will tie chips together in order to speed up the chip-to-chip communication needed to build and deploy artificial intelligence tools.
NVIDIA launched a new version of its NVLink tech called NVLink Fusion on Monday that it will sell to other chip designers to help build powerful custom AI systems with multiple chips linked together. CEO Jensen Huang made the announcement at the Taipei Music Center, site of the Computex AI exhibition, which runs from the 20th to the 23rd of May and will be the first major gathering of computer and chip executives in Asia since US President Donald Trump threatened to impose sweeping tariffs to push companies to increase production in the U.S.
And so today, we're announcing something very special. we're announcing NVIDIA NVLink Fusion. NVLink Fusion is so that you can build semi-custom AI infrastructure. And so today we're announcing that Foxconn, Taiwan, the Taiwanese government, NVIDIA, TSMC, we're going to build the first giant AI supercomputer here for the AI infrastructure and the AI ecosystem of Taiwan.
NVIDIA also launched a desktop version of its AI chips called DGX Spark, targeting AI researchers, and Huang said the computer was in full production and would be ready in a few weeks.
Netanyahu's office says Israel would ease its blockade and let limited amounts of food into Gaza.
Palestinian media said 50 trucks carrying flour, cooking oil and legumes would be allowed into the small coastal territory, while Israeli media said 9 trucks with baby food were expected to enter in coming hours. Israel faces mounting international pressure over the blockade on humanitarian deliveries it imposed in March, shortly before breaking a 2-month-old ceasefire, as aid agencies warn of famine in the enclave of 2.3 million people.
Since March 2nd, the comprehensive blockade that was put in place has really prevented the delivery of essential humanitarian and even commercial supplies. So that's been restrictions on everything from food, water, medical items, fuel, and cooking gas. But alongside that, I think we should all be mindful that we also are seeing mass displacements. 90% of the population in the Gaza Strip has been displaced, and often at multiple times as evacuation orders and no-go zones continue to expand. But maybe from a perspective of our organization, the Food and Agriculture Organization, we also want individuals to recognize, I think, in the public, that another driver for this reduction or this deterioration of the humanitarian situation is also because food systems have collapsed in Gaza.
Israel made its announcement on aid after sources on both sides reported no progress in a new round of indirect talks between Israel and Hamas in Qatar.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 35 points to lead the Oklahoma City Thunder to a 125-93 home win over the Denver Nuggets in Game 7 of their Western Conference second-round series.
The Thunder advanced to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2016. Oklahoma City opens the conference finals against the Minnesota Timberwolves at home Tuesday. After scoring just 6 points in a May 15th loss, Thunder All-Star Jalen Williams bounced back in a big way, pouring in 24 points on 10 of 17 shooting. Gilgeous-Alexander was 12 of 19 from the floor with 3 steals and no turnovers. Early on, it looked like the Nuggets were carrying over the momentum from their Game 6 win. Denver led by double digits with a minute left in the first quarter before the Thunder ripped off a 13-0 run spanning the first and second quarters to take the lead for the first time.
It's hard mentally to get yourself to 0 and go win Game 4, win Game 5, and then same thing today. We're tied 3-3. We had doubled up the amount of minutes that we had led in the series, and yet we were tied 3-3. And these guys just keep coming. You know, it's really incredible fortitude, and I thought it really showed the character of the team and the character of the guys. And we're going to need that resolve, you know, as we move forward here.
The Thunder grabbed the lead for good on Le Guentz Dort's three-pointer with 7 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. Oklahoma City closed the first half on an 18-5 run, including back-to-back Denver turnovers that led to Williams' buckets at the end and helped the Thunder build a 60-46 lead at halftime. Then the Thunder put the game on ice with a 37-point third quarter, with 10 of those points coming off the Nuggets' 5 turnovers. Oklahoma City led as many as 43 points in the fourth quarter. Denver was also 3 of 14 beyond the arc in the third quarter and finished the game just 10 of 45 on three-pointers. A big part of the Thunder's success was thanks to Alex Caruso's defense. Despite a considerable size deficit, Caruso spent plenty of time on Nuggets star Nikola Jokic, who often found it difficult to find shots against Oklahoma City's top-ranked defense. Jokic scored 20 points on 5 of 9 shooting, while Caruso finished with a game-best plus 40 plus-minus rating.
Alejandro Phillips, an art student, had to gain weight, train for the first time in a boxing gym, and conduct in-depth research to portray the late Cuban ex-boxer Teofilo Stevenson in the filming of a fictional film co-produced by Cuba, Russia, and Mexico.
After 3 years of preparation, Phillips, 27, is starring in the movie Teofilo, directed by Cuban filmmaker Alejandro Gil, which is currently being filmed in the Cuban capital and will soon begin its final phase of shooting in Moscow. The film, which will be about 2 hours long, is not strictly biographical according to Gil, although it highlights the life and career of the ex-boxer who was a 3-time Olympic champion, Munich 1972, Montreal 1976, and Moscow 1980, and a world champion among amateur boxers. The director said it is a film that recreates the emotions in the ring, covering about 40 locations on the island, and is preparing for its final stage in Moscow amid an economic crisis on the island with notable shortages, which almost led to a near resignation. Stevenson fought 321 bouts with a record of 301 victories. He passed away on June 11, 2012 in Havana at the age of 60.
That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.